Welcome back, everyone. Heron Michelle here with the Sojourner Whole Earth Provisions in Greenville, North Carolina for the third installment video of my Lunar Magic candle series, working with lunar pairings across the wheel of the year in astrology. Today, we are creating the Taurus and Scorpio lunar pairing, getting ready for the Mourning Moon, which will occur in Scorpio, very close to Halloween this year. That's exciting. Today's auspicious timing. Why is it a good day to make this candle? Well, it's Monday. That's the day ruled by the moon, so check for the lunar magic. It's also in the moon itself is in Scorpio right now. Check, perfect. Also, the sun is in Virgo, which is in an earth sign, which does help that Taurian energy a little bit too. Check 3. So excellent time to make candles for the Taurus Scorpio lunar pairing. Let's talk a bit about how that works. The reason why this is paired is because Taurus and Scorpio are on opposite sides of the wheel of the year. They're both fixed signs. Taurus is the fixed sign of spring and Scorpio is the fixed sign of autumn. So both of them sustain the energies of their respective seasons. In Taurus, we celebrate Beltane. That's a bit of the imagery there in the top panel of my candle wrap artwork, my original artwork made into a sticker ready to go on the candle. The knife goes in the cup, as author Batty used to say, but it's the idea of the merging of the male and the female, reconciling the paradox of completion of goddess and god within each of us. So we have the cup and the blade represents the sacred marriage between male and female, goddess and god, and all the range between. The flip side of the year, Scorpio, is the fixed season of autumn. It's when we celebrate Samhain. It's like the funeral. Beltane's like the wedding, Samhain's like the funeral. In the top panel here of my artwork, I tried to show a kind of grim reaper or angel of death or whoever it is that escorts the souls, the psychopomp that escorts the souls across the waters of Scorpio into the afterlife, much like the ferryman across the river Styx. I do have a scythe and a lantern, much like the hermit card in the tarot deck, showing that he's lighting the way to guide this dearly departed soul across the waters. Death and waters always go together. So we are working water and earth energies in this lunation. Other things on the candle wrap image, just to talk about that. When the sun is in Taurus, this is the sun image. So when the sun is in Taurus, the full moon that occurs during that fixed spring season is the flower moon. The flower moon occurs when the moon is in Scorpio, the opposite side of the earth. So it's called in opposition. And that's how these energies are connected. So think about it. This sun, which is shining through Taurus, is filtering that Taurian energy across the earth to the opposite side. It hits the full visual disk of the moon, and then that moon is in Scorpio, opposite side. It then reflects that light back, so at a full moon we're working both energies. However, while the sun is in Taurus, there will also be a dark moon. The dark moon is conjunct the sun, which means it's between the earth and the sun, which means we're looking at its backside. It's mooning us. And we're just looking at its dark backside, and that's dark, the dark side of the moon. But it is also in Taurus, so we're really integrating that Taurus energy at that time. Flip side of the year, when the sun is in Scorpio, the full moon in opposition will be in Taurus, and that's the Mourning Moon. When the dark moon occurs during that time period, it will be also conjunct in Scorpio, so we'll really integrate that Scorpio energy then. Also images on here, I've got the bull of Taurus ruled by Venus. Got some Venus energy there. Alchemical symbol for earth. Rose is her flower, but you know, the knife goes in the cup, the sort of union, the sexy union image from Wicca. A scorpion. Lots of animals go with Scorpio. It could have been an eagle. In classical hermetics, Scorpio is ruled by Mars. And in in the new astrology way, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the god Pluto, like god of the underworld. So some of the themes that we can work on in our magic on the axis that lies between Scorpio and Taurus. This is like a polarity. They anchor the ends of the poles like a spoke on a spinning wheel that go across the zodiac, connecting the two signs. They present to us a range of possibility where each end is an extreme, but incrementally as you go down between one or the other, they become basically the same thing. There's a nice quote in this book, Practical Astrology for Witches and Pagans by Dominguez Jr., which I've written reviews on before. He speaks about working the six pairings, the 6 continua, and themes that you might be able to work in your magic with those moons and suns, etc. during that time. And he gives an example of the similarities and differences between Taurus and Scorpio. On page 50, he says, if we look at Taurus and Scorpio, we see that they are both strongly connected to ideas related to possessions and to boundaries. Taurus focuses on personal resources and personal boundaries, whereas Scorpio focuses on what is shared and how boundaries are dissolved when we merge. The signs show us the extremes when their themes are taken to their furthest separation. One of the great teachings that reaches across the lines of traditions is that to grow and evolve, we must bring the many polarities within us into balance. Using the 6 thematic polarities of the signs as a tool for exploring the polarities within can provide a great deal of detail to explore parts of the self that would otherwise remain intangible. That passage is what sparked this entire idea for me in my lunar magic. So thank you, Evo, for that. Once more, just a plain white candle. This one I have pre-drilled with 3 holes. You see there? 3 holes. You can use a flathead screwdriver or a drill. So let's get to loading these candles. If you've seen my previous 2 videos, you know how I do this. It's going to be the same. I'm going to speed through some of the details here today. If you want to look at all the nitty-gritty, go back to those first 2 videos. We're going to go pretty quick with this one. First off, I'm going to put my sticker on my candle. Once more, the way that you use these candles when the sun is in Taurus and you're celebrating the flower moon and the dark moon Taurus, just turn the candle this way on your altar. Flip side of the year, the dark side of the year, when we're in the autumn and you want to celebrate while the sun is in Scorpio, how we're having a mourning moon in Taurus and a dark moon Scorpio, we just flip the candle this way. And the reason why the loading can be the same for both lunations is because we are working with the signs of Taurus and Scorpio every time. And so we'll have everything we need. There may be some extra things for the particular working, but that's okay because they balance each other and they help us to reconcile the paradox that happens between these are my possessions and Scorpio's all about, I want to share what I have, intangible things like healing and whatnot. So Taurus is personal possessions and Scorpio's inherited possessions and the things you share. And this is my boundary and none shall pass. And the Scorpio is like, hey, let's just be one, y'all, and merge together and let the boundaries drop for a while. So there's a range between these 2 things, between this very earthy, material-based, sensual, body-based Taurus in Venus and enjoying all of those earthy pleasures with Venus. And then Scorpio just gets deeper with it. I want to enjoy the pleasures too, but I want to take it to a really deep spiritual level and I want to share these things with others. So that's the paradox we're working on with these candles and work both sides of the year with the same candle. So 2 for the price of 1. All right, what am I going to load these things with? Well, I'm going to show y'all while I load it. Let's see. I'm going to load this one. All right, once more, I am using my previously charged incense blends of water and earth. Each of those were carefully prepared using recipes that are included in my book, Elemental Witchcraft. If you want to go back and look at those, but I've been working on these for years. They're a little bit like a you know, an Amish friendship bread starter where, you know, I'm working on it, I'm using it, I'm creating, and then I get down to a little bit and I add more. Maybe I use different things each time, but every time they're going to be related to things that, you know, for my water blend that would associate with all of the water signs. Those water signs are bringing in that element. So that's why there's overlaps. Things that are ruled by the moon, things that, you know, are intrinsically filtering water energy to the world will be in this jar. Things that are very much about the material earth plane, the matrix of the earth, things that associate with all the earth signs are going to be in there. Things that are associated with Venus and Saturn and elemental earth are all going to be in there. So that's why once you prepare your elemental blends, you can use them for lots of different things. So I'll be using some more of those. They are incense that I burn on charcoal usually, but they're just a blend of trees and, you know, barks and leaves and resins and berries and flower buds and who knows what all, but so many different types of plant friends are going to be in there. I've also got some stones that I'm going to add today. I always like to have friends from the realms of plant, stone, and bone. So bone, I've just got some visual representations of the animals and things that are associated with the signs on my graphics, but for Scorpio, for Scorpio, I'm going to use this really great crystal sand that we sell at the Sojo. This is lapis lazuli. That's associated with Scorpio. And for Earth, I'm going to use some rose quartz sand associated with Venus, associated with Earth, and with Taurus. And once more, I already have anointed earth and water oils prepared similarly. Those recipes are in my book, and those were prepared during the auspicious times to encapsulate their energy. So by law of contagion, all of these things will be transferred to the candle as well. And then especially, I've got some full Scorpio moon oil. This was prepared under a Scorpio moon, so perfect for today and this working. It works basically for any full moon, but especially nice today under Scorpio. You'll see that there are some rainbow moonstone chips in there, which kind of keep it charged up. And I've got some additional rainbow moonstone chips for that as well. All that'll go in the candle, as well as I'm still doing this as a bit of a trick to see how it works. I'm adding a little bit of vegetable-based, no artificial materials, blue and green dye. It does not change the color of our white candle, but as it burns and you sort of scry into the wax and see how things are revealed, those things start to swirl around. All right, now I'm going to load this candle. For my Taurus side, I'm going to add the tiniest little bit of my incense to the hole. And then I'm going to add a sprinkle of rose quartz sand. Poke that down in the hole using my cigarette chopstick. Very important magical material right there. Then 3 drops of earth oil. 1, 2, 3 down the hole. And 3 drops of the green dye. Welcome, Taurus. Welcome, Lady Venus. Okay. For my Scorpio side and the Scorpio hole, once more, little bit of the herb blend. Does not take much. Don't waste your precious ingredients by overdoing it. Just a little bit in there. All that good charge will transfer. It doesn't take too much. A little bit of the lapis lazuli. Welcome, stone friend of Scorpio. There we go. 3 drops of water oil. Down that hole. 3 drops of the blue vegetable dye. This is food grade for that natural baking by Watkins. The brand is Watkins. Okay, now for the 3rd hole. 3 is a lunar number. 3 times 3 is 9. It's a very lunar number. Down the moon hole, I'm going to add a rainbow moonstone chip. And then 3 drops of that prepared Scorpio full moon oil. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now that everything is in there, here I'm going to poke my Scorpio ingredients down a little bit. All right. I previously have already bored holes in all of my candles, and I saved those shavings. I'm going to grab a pinch of those back and put them back in there. There's no reason to waste that good wax either. These candles are pre-poured. They're with paraffin. They're not my favorite kind of candle, but it's the best way to get these jars, get a good start on things. It's far more economical that way. And once you have burned it the first time, you can then replace that with a beeswax candle or other natural ingredient. Slip it in there, reload it. You'll have all the little bits of stones and everything still in the jar, and that charge will transfer, but you can reload it with some more ingredients if you like. So now that I've got some shreds back in there, we'll want to trim this wick. I don't have my scissors nearby. We're going to want to trim this wick to about 1/2 inch, and then it's ready to go. All right, I'll take a pause, and I'm going to load the rest of these candles. Then we'll charge them up. Now that they're all loaded and anointed and full of all their good stuff and all of the energetic vibes that have been soaking in all of my blends all this time are now starting to share their blend down into the candles. Their energies are down, getting soaked into these candles. I still like to do a charm of making and bless them up with some sort of rhyming couplet, stanzas, you know, best that it be spake and rhyme. I begin by remembering my own connections above and below, within and without. I remember my connections down through my roots to the water table, to the bedrock. I connect to those energies of water and earth as I have come to know them before. And I draw that energy up through my roots, down through my imagination, through my heart. I tune it up with that heart chakra energy of the water, of the earth. I see it flowing down through my hands and into these candles. I call upon the powers of Venus and Pluto, of Taurus and Scorpio. Move through these words and activate your power in these candles. Sun in Taurus, Venus is crowned. Fixed peak of spring, buds abound. Dark Taurus moon, full Scorpio flower. Merge water and earth in the goddess's bower. Sun in Scorpio, Pluto abides. Fixed autumn sustains the season's demise. Dark Scorpio moon, full Taurus morning. Wealth shared round, the funeral pyres burning. Sun in Taurus, Venus is crowned. Fixed peak of spring, buds abound. Dark Taurus moon, full Scorpio flower. Merge water and earth in the goddess's bower. Sun in Scorpio, Pluto abides. Fixed autumn sustains the season's demise. Dark Scorpio moon, full Taurus morning. Wealth shared round, funeral pyres burning. Sun in Taurus, Venus is crowned. Fixed peak of spring, buds abound. Dark Taurus moon, full Scorpio flower. Merge water and earth in the goddess's bower. Sun in Scorpio, Pluto abides, fixed autumn sustains the season's demise, dark Scorpio moon, full Taurus mourning, wealth shared round, funeral pyres burning. So mote it be.